Hello, everybody. I was trying to get everything going here. Had a bit of an echo there, but I don't hear it now. Welcome to the live stream on Saturday, 1 p.m. Now we have an echo. Okay, let me try this. Oh, all right. Well, let's just get rid of that. I'm going to try a few things here and see if I can get this echo over with. Anybody know what that would be? Hmm. Boy, that's. Give me just a minute. We're going to figure out what the echo's from. Hang on. Uh, okay. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out what the echo would be from. Wow. Sherry, can you disengage, I guess? Let's try everything. Work it down to my computer. Hang on. Bear. All right. I don't know. I think that did it. But I don't know. It didn't do it. Wow. You're going to have to do it, Robbie. Let's see if we can get Robbie out of here. We're going to get it figured out. Stay with me. Okay. So we'll hopefully what's going on here today is that we have those that are helping us that are on site with us. I think was challenging for it. You hear an echo? No? It's just me hearing it. Oh, okay. All right. Let's pretend we don't have an echo. Okay. Jessica, do you hear an echo? Okay. Jessica says that she doesn't hear an echo. So we're going to pretend we're going to start this whole thing over again. Welcome to Livestream Live Audience. I'm David Burns. Thanks, Speak Squad, for bearing with us there. We had a little glitch. I think we got it all figured out. But it seems to be on my end. But I'm so thankful that you joined me on a Saturday. That's crazy that we have time to pull out of our busy bee schedule and get in here on a Saturday. I know Saturday is an important day. So many things going on. So thanks a lot for joining us on Saturday. I see a lot of you from so many different places. So it's good to have you. And it's nice to have a live audience. Say hello, everybody. Wow, that's great. They're a robust group today. Yeah. So we're having a good time today at the live, and it's great that we have the live audience and also those of you out there that are watching it from all over the U.S. I see bee enthusiast Peter from the UK. So thanks for almost staying up late to watch us. Huh? So thanks for being here tonight. Oh yeah, good. Well, I am going to share a lot of things with you guys today. We're going to be having our giveaways as usual. So we're looking forward to that. And a lot of different people here. Our furthest to come to the live audience is Virginia. So Cody and Jeff, thanks so much for coming all the way from Virginia. Wow, that's great. And a lot of people were here from Indiana. What other states are here? Anybody else pretty close by? Okay. Illinois. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And so wherever you're from, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. So we are going to have some giveaways for those of you watching remotely on the internet and live stream audience. So what we're going to do today is we're actually going to give away the same item, but one will go to a live stream on the internet, participant watching, and then another will go to the live audience. Hey, Robbie, did you get back? Okay, good. We need to fly this ship with Robbie at the. Looks like we got that figured out. Yeah, so I'm excited today to share a lot of things with you, but I want to share the topic that I'm going to talk about here on Saturday is that beekeeping is not for cowards. And you know, you might have not thought about that before, but I want to share that with you. So let me get set up here. All right. Beekeeping is fun, but a lot of people get into beekeeping because they think it's going to be the greatest thing that ever happened. Maybe a buddy, a friend down the road told them about it, and how fun, can it be just getting a bunch of bees and then you're going to put them in a box, leave them in there, and in a few months you're going to take out honey and enjoy all the honey. It's going to be a great life. It's just going to be awesome, right? Well, it's a little more challenging than that. And so I'm going to share that beekeeping isn't for cowards. Now, I've been speaking at different places around the US, and one of the things I've been saying is that beekeeping really isn't a hobby. A hobby is something you do in your leisure, your spare time, when you want to relax and kind of chill and just get into your bees, whatever, right? Like if I was a hobbyist guitarist, if I was playing the guitar as a hobby, I could let my guitar sit in the corner. I'd never have to pick it up if I want to, right? If I want to, I pick it up. Well, bees, you can't keep bees out. You can't ignore your bees or bad things are going to happen. So some common misconceptions about beekeeping is that it's easy and trouble. Another misconception is my bees will always be strong and healthy. Another misconception is I don't think I have mites. I hear that a lot. Yeah. And when people say they don't have mites, I either think, okay, you don't have very good eyesight or you don't know what you're looking for. Another misconception is my bees will never sting me. That's another one that's going to surprise you, especially in the fall when bees get more populated. And then the other misconception is I'm going to have a ton of honey. This is going to be great. I'm going to have honey to give away to all my family. So that's a lot of times where people get into keeping. They have those misconceptions. Now let's get into the nitty gritty, right? Well, you think it's easy and trouble free, but it's not. Beekeeping is more than a hobby. So beekeeping is not something you can always do at your leisure. It's not something you can always do on your spare time. Sometimes the bees demand that you take care of them. It's not convenient for you at all. And it can be tough to be on their schedule. Secondly, you must always follow the bees' schedule, the bees' season. So whatever season it is for bees, that's when you have to do something. That's when you have to start working at solving problems that your bees are having. So that's a challenging part. Um, so I just been told we should turn off all cell phones. Get a little echo. So anybody in the audience that may have a cell phone on, you need to turn your volume down or turn those off. I'll keep going here. Back to the season, you really do have to follow the bee season. Whatever season the bees are in, you can't really change much about what the bees are wanting. So in other words, you might think, I don't feel like I really want to fool with my bees this month because I'm going on a trip or something. Well, then it's going to be come back to bite you when you get back. So you have to be careful about that. You're always working on your schedule, and that's why it's not like a leisurely hobby that you're in. And there's always going to be trouble. I know we'd like not to think that, but there's always going to be trouble when it comes to beekeeping. So, in other words, it can really be a hive that you don't even know that's in trouble, but it can be in trouble. It's unfortunate. So you can be working a hive and you might find the queen, you see brood, everything looks good, but you don't know that the bees are in trouble. You're going to get stung. Now, I don't want to scare you. You can dress up and probably avoid being stung, but I've been suited up everywhere, and lo and behold, there's that one bee that will get into your bee food. Has it ever happened to you? And you're like, "Wow, okay, I forgot to zip my hat down. That's why they're coming in so fast." Or there's always one clawing at your leg or something. And so that can be a challenge when you're trying to work your bees and you're not expecting to be stung, and all at once they sting you. It's not that painful, but it's so surprising that sometimes you just get, kinda overwhelmed by it. The next thing is your bees will struggle. Even your best hives, even the hives that you love the most, they're gonna be the ones that you've got to keep an eye on. They overpopulate, swarm. See this always a struggle. There's always something going on in your hive. I have one presentation that I give, and I relate beekeeping to triage. Like a triage is a word that refers to like an ER room where all the patients coming in with different types of issues, and you have to start looking at which one needs the most urgent care right away, right? So you're trying to figure that out, and it can be really challenging. With bees, every beehive is really a patient in the ER room, and you're trying to figure out which of my beehives needs the most urgent care right now. That's what I mean. Everything we do is triage. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, every you have 10 hives, you have 200 hives. You're always trying to solve some problem in your weakest colony all the time, and sometimes it can spread and be a problem too. So you're going to always find some of your bees struggling. And then excess honey. I know we all want that a lot of honey left over at the end of the year. That's a bonus. That's going to be a bonus. You don't always have honey. Those of you that are new beginners this year, if you get honey this first year out of that new package or something, that's going to be a bonus for you. All right. So here's my famous quote that I like to say. You know, you just have to cowboy up. All right. There's going to be a lot of things that you have to do. To do it, you just have to cowboy up, and that's the tough part. So, as beekeepers, we are weightlifters, we are chemists, we are biologists, we are botanists, and we are carpenters, and we are a lot more. And I know you can relate to that. One of the reasons that I think beekeeping became easy for me when I got into it was I already had a lot of these skills in these areas. And so I could go right into beekeeping and I could relate and figure out how build hives or fix an accident or something. So the more skills that you have, the more you're going to enjoy beekeeping. Now, if you're just a hobbyist and you have one hive in your backyard, you're probably thinking, well, I don't know if I agree with that. Because I have one hive in my backyard. I didn't have to build it. I don't know if I really need to know about all of these things, but you really do. Because where do you think you need to be a chemist at? Well, when it's time to start treating for mites, right? You've got to calculate a lot of things. You got to do a mite test, calculate the mite test. You got to be a mathematician. How many mites do I have? What's my percentage? Then you got to kind of calculate my treatment plan. So you have to use different types of treatments. And a biologist, you have to know all about bees. You have to know their brood cycle. You got to know all about the different stages of brood and how they reproduce. You know a lot about bees. And as a botanist, you're already thinking about what are my bees like? What kind of flowers do they go to? What kind of resources do they have? And the carpenter, maybe you don't build your own hives, but there's always things that you have to like, oh, I need to put a spacer here. Or my hive is sinking in the ground, I need to put a piece of wood under it. Something like that. You're always trying to tinker around with different pieces of wood. So I want to encourage you now to cowboy up and don't be a coward when it comes to beekeeping. First, don't let other people condemn you. I see that a lot in beekeeping, where you might go as a new beekeeper and you'll be in a club and somebody will just tell you, why did you start with that? That was wrong. You shouldn't have used that hive. You should have started with this hive. Why are you doing it this way? And they condemn you. And some beekeepers will walk away from a bee club and they will feel literally hopeless and helpless that they made a terrible mistake and they have no idea what to do. Don't buy into that. Okay. You decided to do something what you wanted to do and you run with it. Do what you want to do. Don't let other people have power over what you're doing. Even if it isn't up to par or best way, it's what you're doing now and you're going to learn. So just hang in there. But I really think you have to be careful because we're always listening to other beekeepers tell us things. And if we're not careful, we can really feel condemned by the beekeepers, especially new beekeepers. So don't let other people have power over you. You be your own person. Now, do not retreat from diving into deeply educating yourself in beekeeping. Now, I didn't say you had to go and get a college degree in biology and become an entomologist. I'm saying educate yourself. Some of the best beekeepers that have had great inventions, that even today have great um, things going on, they educated themselves. They don't have a not a PhD. They don't have a degree in entomology. All you have to do is educate yourself. You spend time, you do your own study. And that's my next point. You're the best advocate and researcher for your bees. You care more for your bees than your bee inspector. I mean, your bee inspector loves bees, but you're still the advocate. You're going to do what's best for your bees because you love your bees. So you're the one that needs to do your own research. Study hard, understand what your bees are doing, learn what they're doing, and apply it. So you be the best person that you can be by learning about your bees. Now, the next thing about being, you don't want to be a coward, and that is procrastination. Procrastination is thing, the worst enemy of you, right? It's just like, you know what? I really need to go out there and do that mic test, but I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, and then tomorrow it's raining. That's gonna be I can't do it today, it's raining. And the next day I've got other events going on. I'll just do it next month. Procrastinating is really bad. You have a queen problem. You put off a 4-laying queen for long, you've got an issue. Oh boy, now the queen is really bad off. I've got a really big problem. Then you can procrastinate long enough and get laying workers. And that's when there's no brood, there's no queen for 21 days, and all at once you have laying workers. And the hive is really in despair because we procrastinate. And so you've got to really understand the bees need us and they need us to be pretty active. So don't ignore what needs to be done, even though you may not understand it. Now, let me explain that. Say that you know there's a problem, you see an issue, but you don't know how to fix it. So you just say, okay, I'm not going to deal with that. I don't know what to do. And see if they correct themselves. So what you need to do instead is start researching, start talking to people, start doing a lot of research on the internet. Maybe watch a video or two, and you'll find help. You know, have you ever experienced all group, for example? You open up your hive and you see pupae staring at you, and they capped over, but they're not. And you're thinking, wow. Then you may not know the term bald brood, so you don't know what to search for. How do you ever figure out this doesn't look normal? What is going on here? And that's when you have to really, instead of ignoring that, take action immediately. Figure out why are these pupae exposed like this, and what do I need to do about it? And you can quickly learn by doing some research, fall upon the term bald brood, and realize, oh, I either have wax moth or I have parasitic mite syndrome. Have maybe very hygienic bees that are opening captive or something. And you can just work kind of like reverse engineer back to figure out, well, what is it? And that's what I made a video on recently, is how I solved the problem with bald brood, which turned out to be just a mite infestation that I corrected. So doing your own research, you don't have to really always rely on other people. You don't have to be, a 20-year veteran in beekeeping. You can be very smart by just looking and aggressively pursuing answers to these things that come up. And the last thing I want to share with you in today's teaching is never, never, never give up. I think I've shared that a lot, that about 8% of beekeepers stop after their first year. And that is just too bad. It's so easy to give up because of the things that we mentioned. We don't really jump in there and try to figure things out like we need to. And it starts going pretty fast. And all of us are like, wow, what's wrong? So try to understand that the best thing you can do is stay in the saddle. All right. You're not going to learn if you get off the saddle. If you get out of beekeeping, take the bees off the hive. But if you stay in there, you're going to start developing some skills. You're going to start learning how to keep better bees. And I want to encourage you. I wasn't born a beekeeper. I was already 30 when I didn't know anything about it. That was before the internet, and that's before we had a lot of studies and like we have now. It was harder to get information back then, and so I started self-taught myself. And so don't think that you have to know everything overnight. I think a lot of people feel like I want to know things right overnight, and you don't have to. time, be patient, learn, grow into it. The best experience, the best knowledge you're going to gain is from the experience of working those. And I want to assure you, I don't know it all now. I never came to. But when I go out to work a hive today, I got to tell you, I'm not afraid of those hives like I was when I first started. It scared me in the beginning when I was like 30. I was like, oh my gosh, these bees are going to. But now I'm not scared of bees. I get stung. It's no big deal to me. It happens. You'll get there. If you're new, hang in there. Stay in the saddle. If your bees don't give you the first year, hang in there. They might the second year if they are healthy. If you're wrestling with mites, just face mites head on. Find out what you need to do to get those mites under control. You can do this. Just don't give up because you want to add more and more knowledge and skill to what you're doing. Well, thanks so much. I hope that's been a encouraging you guys to really focus on staying in the saddle. Beekeeping isn't for cowards. It requires a lot. As I look out to my audience here, several of them I know really well, and I've watched a lot of them grow, become better beekeepers. They stayed in the saddle. They were courageous, and that's pretty impressive. So I appreciate that. Okay, well, let's take a moment now and welcome all of you again for being here. In case you're just dropping in, I'm David Burns. In the replay, and you have to remember that this isn't live for you if you're watching it after the live stream. So we're about to have some giveaways if you're watching live. So you're going to enjoy probably some of these giveaways here in just a moment. Whether you're watching, we all will give some stuff away from you. But I'm going to start first with some questions, and I'm going to ask the audience if they have any questions. We'll take a few questions from the audience if we have to justified by sitting in a live stream. What it's all like. Probably looks different from what you guys are used to watching on your computers. But are there any questions from the live stream? Anybody have a question on bees? They look a little shy. Let's see, any bees? Okay, Bonnie has a question from the audience.
So I have one, and I've harvested honey 3 times already this year.
Congratulations.
Super is 50% cap. Should I count on another harvest, or should I leave that on there?
Okay.
Until winter?
All right. So Bonnie's she has 3 hives. She's one hive, but you've harvested 3 times. And she's now in the place where she's got super on top and it's like half. So now do we leave that on there and see if they'll fill in the rest or take it off? So I tell you what I would do, Bonnie, I would leave it on there. Planning on taking it off if it doesn't work. Yeah. I would wait. I would wait and see if they can fill the rest, cap it over. Maybe even who knows? You'll get lucky with some fall goldenrod, maybe. Although it tastes different, you may not like it. But maybe you can get it capped over. But if you don't, then you can harvest what you had, and store the rest. Yeah, that's really. You don't want to go through winter with just a few frames over in your honey super, because then they're going to go up there. There won't be as much food for them up there, and so they'll be full. They'll be rising up in the winter. There won't be as much food up there. Yeah. All right. Any other questions from the audience? Yeah. Anybody else? I don't see any. They're pretty content out there. Yeah, we'll get back to you in a minute if you have another question. All right. We'll take some questions from our audience today. From our internet audience. We have Louis Fields. And, what should I do with any frames that they have uncapped nectar in them when I prepare the hive for winter? We just spoke of that, Louis. Here's the deal. That's risky. So if you have frames in your hive, in your supers that aren't capped over, it's not the best idea to go into winter with. If they're not dried out really well, what can happen? They can crystallize. It's very moist. A lot of beekeepers will bring crystallized frames and show me and ask me, what is this? They're kind of like larger granular sections of sugar in each cell. It looks like a disease. It really does. And I'll tell them, I'll pick it up and eat it. And I'll, yeah, that's sugar. That's, you fed them, and you get it dried down. So that's the tricky part. Like we just said, try to leave a super on for winter. That's what you're going to do, but make sure it's at least 8 frames are over. When they move up there, there's something get up in there? Good question. Dustin, how are you doing, Dustin? When's the latest you would feel comfortable splitting a strong hive? Here's the easiest answer. When bees swarm, that is the best time to split your hive because bees are doing it naturally. Okay, that's their season. They tell you that the bees are saying, we know we can swarm and make a new colony now. This is a season we're going to do it. There's a vector flow, timing, light, all that. We tinker around and try to do it later than what bees would, then we can pull it off. Don't get me wrong. If you're a skilled beekeeper, you can probably make it happen. But there's a chance that it's not going to work out. They're being built up fast enough, especially with the queen issue or something. So I would say for me, I would never try to do it much past the middle of June here in Illinois for me. I was surprised. I saw a comment. I'll get back to Evan here in a minute, but I was surprised. Someone left a comment on my recent YouTube channel, and they said that they just got their bees this week. I think like July the 15th or something. And that seems like I was like, oh boy, you're gonna have to hustle to get that hive ready. Unless somebody gets you an entire big hive, like if you started with a five, there's a lot you're gonna have to do to get ready for winter. I don't know. I saw this year for the first time a lot of people starting a lot later than what is safe to me. So I don't know why that is. I don't know if more people are trying just to sell packages and nuke after trying to get rid of them, and people are buying them later like that than they should. Maybe that's the case, but you really need to start beekeeping as early as you can in your spring. As soon as temperatures start getting above around 50, you start seeing dandelion. You should have bees on the ground. And you start much after dandelions, and bees are kind of it's a little bit late to get started. Okay, Evan, 2 out of my 10 hive not doing well. Okay. I went to give each one frame stronger hives. It's winter here now. Advice. Wow. I don't know where you're at. Um, so 2 out of your 10 hives aren't doing well, and you give them some frames over, stronger. I would try to feed them and fall back on feeding. And if they're not doing well, are you saying they're low in population? If a hive is low in population, they're not going to be able to make a lot of heat if they're not a population of bees in there. So wrapping it will help them with what heat they can make, keep some of that heat in there. If you can feed them a hard candy, fondant, something like that, we have the winter be kind. I'm not sure where you live, where you're at, but I don't know if you're in Canada or in a different country, but that's the tricky part right now. There's other products that you can put on there. Hive Alive is another product that's kind of like a fondant. And, feeding them, wrapping them, fingers crossed. That's about all you can do. But wise decision on giving them extra frames too. Yeah, that's all right. All right, we have other questions. Hey, Brian Bennett, how are you? How do you know if you're in a dearth? My bees are going in and out a lot, but I think they're bringing in water. How do you know the difference? Thanks to well, Brian, all you got to do is take your bee that's flying in and out, grab it, and then look at its honeycomb to see if it's got nectar or water in there. No, I'm kidding. You can't do that. Well, you can do it, but it won't be good for the bee. Um, I think use your common sense, right? If there's really not much foraging going on out there and it's extremely hot, then it's likely that they're bringing water in. Another thing you can do is open up the hive and you can watch to see if it's nectar increasing in your hive that time of year. So you can, because that frame didn't have nectar last week, now it does. Well, you know the nectar. Now another thing that I do, and I've not heard people talk about this, you can actually pull a frame of over pupae up, and if you have some good clear glasses, a little magnifying glass, look on the surface of your cap pupae, especially around the hexagon area where it kind of dips down just a little bit, around where the root is, one cell. You will see glistening water on really hot days. Take a look next you can. I remember I was at EAS and I was inspecting, I was examining a candidate that had a hive open, and I noticed that water glistening around the cells. And I asked, "What is that water?" And I was asking off the record. I wasn't going to take away points or give them points, but I was just going to see what their knowledge level was. And I don't think they knew what I was saying. So yeah, that's how they cool their hive. They put a little water on the pupae, and then they fan it, and that's evaporative cooling. That's how they do it. Thanks, EL, for your donation. Appreciate that so much. Yeah, very nice. Okay, well, let's see. Keep hammering away at some more questions. Anybody in the audience be thinking of one, let me know. Raise your hand anytime. John says, as a new beekeeper and doing a hobby for now, do we still need to have bee inspector? John, it depends on your level of expertise, right? So you'll get to the point where you can know more than your bee inspector knows. A lot of bee inspectors are great. Some of them are entomologists. They're outstanding. They've been commercial beekeepers, so they're very knowledgeable. But other times in some states, it's hard to get people to be an inspector. And so sometimes new beekeepers will enter with an inspector for a couple of weeks, and then all at once they're an inspector. They may not have big, a massive knowledge bank that they can pull from. So it depends on the inspector level that you're working with. I think I would challenge you that every beekeeper should always want to be as good as their bee inspector. You want to know pest diseases, you want to know 3, 4, the 3 types of fruit, the 4 types of resources in your frames. I know most inspectors, we sell nucleuses and we have to have our nukes inspected. And I can tell by watching them, they do look for mice, they do look for stuff. But I had an inspector for many, many years. Got, unfortunately, he passed away. But he came out to inspect, and the one thing that basically the only thing he was looking for was American pie. He'd look at a couple of frames of brood, 2 or 3 frames. Okay, it looks good. We're good. He would just say, okay, your hives look good. So, sometimes your bee inspectors are very helpful. They will share with you that, oh, you have a failing queen, or you have some mites, and so they can be really helpful. For new beekeepers, bee inspectors are wonderful, and you should rely on them. In most states, you don't have to pay to register, and it's a lot of fun to have them out and kind of guide you. Hey, Debbie, how are you? We are on our 6th year. Well, congratulations. You've stayed on the horse a long time. That's great. Once you make it past 5 years, I think you're gonna be in a call. That's what so education is the key for successful hives. Learn, do it. Thank you, David, for your videos. Yeah, that's right. Learn it and then put it into practice and do it. And most beekeepers, very few beekeepers are keeping bees at year 5 year. Only the real cowboys that are staying on the horse in year 5. You learn a lot though. Once you get into year 5, most beekeepers are jumping into more hive, queen rearing, selling nukes, selling woodenware. By year 5, they're running this huge business. It is amazing what people can do in 5 years. It's pretty impressive. Hey, Jenny, if you see slightly spotted cap brood, can you tell the difference between hygienic behavior and a failing? You really sometimes can't. So if you're seeing a spotty cat brood, it can mean a lot of things. It can mean European foul brood. That's one of the symptoms. It can mean parasitic mite syndrome. It could mean hygienic behavior. A lot could be going on. You just have to kind of work backwards through all of these things, right? You have to say, what's my log say about doing mite tests? Have I had mite problems in this hive? Is it a mite issue? Is that what's going on? Parasitic mite syndrome? Is it European foul brood? How does my larvae look? Are they capped over well? Do they not look good? Are they kind of twisted up and gray and then bottom of European foul brood? So it's going to be really hard to tell. You just go through a process of applying what you know and eliminating things very quickly. Yeah. All right. Very good. Jay Glosser. Hey, Jay, good to see you. David, is GrubX good to use around the hives to help control my beetle? My legal answer is GrubX is not a legal treatment for treating small hive beetle. It's not. It doesn't include small hive beetle larvae on the package. I will say that most beekeepers have found that it is phenomenal by putting that around your hive, speaking on behalf of a friend who told me that that GrubX it kills all the grubs. Now I did it in my yard because we have holes that they just burrow these holes in my yard, and somebody said, "Put GrubX down, and it will reduce the grubs that these underground creatures can eat and mess your yard up." And lo and behold, it did. And they were doing it in my bee yard too. So of course I was trying to kill the grubs that these mold things were eating in my bee yard. So as a side note, I just started seeing a lot less smelly beetle. And so I think a lot of good studies by entomologists, bee specialists that have been doing studies on the impact of GrubX on bees. Don't hold me to this. I think they were even putting it in water and actually feeding it to bees in their studies. So I have to wait and see how that goes. But I have watched some of the research, watched some YouTube videos. But yeah, a lot of beekeepers are putting GrubX because what it does, it kills. As soon as the larvae jumps out of your hive and goes into the ground, it will kill. The other thing about that, though, boy, you don't want to get to the place where larvae are jumping out of your beehive. You want to kill trap the adult small hive beetles before they have a chance to lay eggs and start producing all that one larvae. Hey, Julie, Julie Bennett, I have some bees in my hive that are noticeably smaller than the rest. Is it? It's probably about 5% of the population. Is this a sign of a problem or just? Um, it can be a problem. We have noticed that bees in the larva stage that are not adequately fed protein, especially, but not adequately fed by the young nurse bees, probably old, they actually are measured to be smaller bees. That may not be what you're seeing because it certainly can be genetic as well. You can actually look at a hive and you have a lot of different lines of bees in there because there's 20 or 40 different dads going on, one mom, of course. So you can have a different size bee that's a sister to the other bees that is smaller. Yeah, I see that a lot. I do see some small bees. Yeah, yeah, I think you just have really good eyes. I think you have a really good way of looking at the size of bees. Bees kind of change their shape a little, how they're stretching out of the so I might kind of fool you there. Thank you, Mark, for your super sticker. Appreciate that so much. Yep, appreciate it so much. All right, I'm going to drink of water here before I answer Jen's question. How often should I do a complete inspection of two deep hive? I've been finding my queen in the first three frames. I check deep and I close it up. I've always held to this. Inspect your hive, look for the queen's how good your queen is. Is she laying eggs? I want you to look at that every 2 weeks. That gives you a chance to do something. That's easier if you have fewer hives. Now, if you want to really be really precise on making sure you're understanding what's going on in your beehive, once a month, if you can do a thorough inspection, it's gonna be now you don't have to look at every single frame. Now, I think if you look at couple to 3 frames in each bee box, that's gonna tell you overall the health of the colony. One frame might look good, but then you might have others that don't. You can have a batch of, God forbid, but you can have a batch of American fruit on one frame, not on the others. So we think that if you can look at 3 frames of fruit in each team, that's gonna give you a real good assessment. I know the bee inspector that passed, he would always just pull 1 frame of brood. If it looked good on 1 frame, he'd think all the frames are good. So I would say that a lot of people will cheat on that a little bit. But here's the thing, as long as you know your queen is healthy, then you're not gonna be surprised all at once you haven't had any brood for a long time. So that's the thing, just keep an eye on it. But I would say in at least every 4 to 6 weeks. Just get in there and make sure all the brood looks good. Make sure you're not getting some. Yeah, I want to thank Sherry and Jessica and Robbie for the great work they're doing today. Yeah. Jeff, do you keep green drone comb frames in your hives all summer? Someone told us to take them out after. I think keeping them in there to mite control all year long in the summer is really good. I don't think it hurts. Um, Overwintering with them is not the best of things because what happens is before you get in there, they can start laying drone brood in there before you can even take a green drone comb out. The drones might emerge with releasing the mites. So it's kind of tough to go through the winter with those. So I would say, yeah, I would keep running them as long as the bees are. It's a great tool to control mites. So if you can cycle them as long as they're raising the drones, that'll work really good. There's going to come a point any day now, probably depending on where you live, that the bees are no longer raising drones at all or laying very few drones. At that point, you could take it out of you see that they're just not working. They're done with drones. Green drone comb. Oh, let's have a giveaway. While we're talking about green drone comb, let's come back to Dave's question. I've got some green drone comb. Here it is. For those of you watching, what this is, the cells are a little bit larger, so he measures it with. She doesn't fertilize the eggs she lays in these. They become drones, and a lot of studies have shown that mites prefer young drones and even drone pupae developing. They jump in them. Drones are in the cell. Takes 24 days for them to emerge. So in this case, these are good way of controlling mites. If you manage it, you let them get capped over with drones, and then you freeze it, you kill all the mites in those cells. And so we're going to give that away. So if you want to use a hashtag of drone, then you can just put that in the comments. Hashtag drone. We'll see who will win one for green drone combs. And we're going to give a one way to our audience too. So I've collected the names of all of the audience members. Oh yeah. And I saw it. All right, let's see who won today. Cody. All right, Cody. Wow. Drone comb. Going back to the. Do you use green drone comb? Okay, good. All right. So we got one to give away to the audience watching today. All right. Let's see who will win a green drone comb for keeping mites down. All right, we're spinning the wheel. Here we go. Who is it going to be? All right, here it goes. It's slowing down. You're the winner. There you go. So be sure and drop us an email to longlanehoneybees@gmail.com. Let us know your address. We'll get it as soon as possible. That's great. All right, I'm going to give something else away while we're talking about it. I reached down here in my gift bag. Beak Squad hat. Isn't that beautiful? Wow. Look at that. It looks too small. I got a big head. All right, so we're going to give away Beak Squad hat. So if you'll leave a comment in this comment section, HAT, hashtag hat, we'll give a hat away. That'd be great. All right, so Candy and Robbie are here. They take care of the merchandise on our website with the Beak Squad, or my Beak Squad. Beak Squad is the name of the audience. All of you, you're here today as for Squad, Beak Squad. These are nice hats, but you can check out our website, find out more things that we sell. These tumblers we give away on Livestream. So hashtag hat doesn't help if you put it in there more than once, and don't capitalize the H or you'll be excluded. So be sure to do that. Hashtag hat, we'll see. Let's go ahead and draw a name from the audience. See who will win a hat today. I don't think I put you back in there, Cody. Barbara Allen. There you go. Big spot hat. All right. All right, Robbie, let's see who will win on the live stream. Here we go. They're nice hats. Did Ken? Oh, it's still going. There it is. I thought Ken had it, and it went into Donna. There you go, Donna. You won the hat. Be sure and email us, Donna. There it is at the bottom there. Email us in 24 hours, the longlanehoneybees@gmail.com. And we'll get that hat sent right out to you. That's a lot of fun. Let's take a few more questions. We got 14 minutes left on the live stream, so let's get some more questions answered. Hey, Dave, is it possible to raise and overwinter queens in a controlled environment? Everything's possible. I assume you mean like a greenhouse. Or you're going to put them in a building or a shed or something where the temperature is controlled. A lot of people do that. In Canada, a lot of cold places will put them in storage. It's all about how dark you can keep them. It's all about the temperature has to be just right, and you also have to have. You can't have stale air in there. You can't let them suffocate. You gotta have air circulating there. So it is tricky. I've done it a few times here in my buildings, and it doesn't work really well because in the wintertime, we can have days where it's really warm, and it's hard to keep those rooms really cool on a real day. And so the bees get really restless, but you don't want any lights. Everything's going to be red light. Bees don't notice that. So, but it can be challenging. Yeah, it can be challenging. All right, let's take a few more questions. Hey, James, I'm wintering one 8 frame and one 10 frame. How much honey do I need to leave winter on each? Just brood box or a super on top of that? Yeah, James, you're asking it depends kind of a question, It really does depend. I don't know where you live. It didn't say how cold your winters are. Um, don't don't go too short on having enough on, I guess is the way to say it. So you need to have either a winter be kind on there, like a queen feed on top, or you need to leave plenty of honey. In Illinois, I'll give you this. You can maybe relate to where you're at. I need about 70 to 80 pounds stored resources in my hive on it. So that can be 40 pounds in the 2 brood boxes, and 40 pounds super that I'll leave on. A lot of cases, since I feed my bees in the wintertime, my winter bee kinds, I don't bother too much to worry about them. So it kind of, I wouldn't, I wouldn't change up whether it's 8 or 10. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about that. Treat them both the same. Yeah, feed them. You have enough on there. Any audience questions? I have an audience question. Okay. Okay. Question from the live audience is, what kind of advice do you have on robbing from yellow jackets? So that is a tricky thing. Yellow jackets are really bad. And I know that I have some friends in the South that have yellow jacket. There are, if you're in an area where you can trap for yellow jackets, I think there's traps you can. Bees aren't so much attracted to, but yellow jackets are. Yellow jackets are also they're meaty. So they like protein, and there's a lot of people will trap them with hamburger and such, where bees aren't attracted to that so much. But I think robber screens would be a good thing to try as well. Yellow jackets may not be able to figure out how to get into the hive like robber bees. I've never been attacked by yellow jackets, so I've not had to really deal with that. Have you had to deal with it?
Snappy cold and
Oh, I see. Okay.
kills off the yellow jackets.
Yeah.
So I get the
Very
cold,
interesting.
I warm up again, and the yellow jackets stay.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the live audience, they were sharing that he said that yellow jackets, since the climate is actually she's saying that we don't get that real snap of cold spell that just will kill off the yellow jackets. You might get cold, it warms up again, and the yellow jackets are back there again. So it might be something to keep an eye on. Leave a comment if you guys have just an excellent way to deal with yellow jackets and bees. That's a good question. Yeah. Move to a place where there's no yellow jackets.
Yeah.
Yeah. David, I have one hive that is all supers. Yeah, I do too. Four supers, small, no deeps. What would happen if I place a new super on the very bottom? The top two supers are almost full, but not. I have no idea what would happen, Jay. I think have a store back, one thing, putting them in the bottom. You're practicing the old approach by bottom hive is. Um, I think they're gonna be more likely to fill that up the higher up it is. That's how bees do it in their natural habitat. They just keep stacking honey up and up. If you notice what's going on near the entrance, it's a lot more foragers that are there. It's bee dancing going on. There's pollen and there's bee bread. You see more of the brood a little bit away from the and certainly the honey you see more of. The other thing I want to tell you about, if you put a super down at the entrance and they start putting all their honey there in that super, to me, that's not what bees do. I think it's a defense mechanism. If you let's say if you're in a bank, look where the bank keeps the vault of money. It's not in the entranceway when you first walk in, is it? It's way back behind counters, behind, you know, where the customers are, even back behind there. I think bees purposely put the honey really far away from the opening, and that way the robbers have to fight through a lot of bees to get to where the honey is. And if you put the super down below, it have a smell coming out that I think could maybe attract robbers even more. Hey, JR, thank you for your donation. Appreciate it. Good to see you. Thanks again for the cooling neck ring. That's great. Be a good day today. Hey, Sherry, thanks for joining us today on the live stream. How much does one frame of honey generally weigh? How many pounds of capped honey should be left for winter for a new colony? Can any that may be left in the spring be harvested? That's getting all those questions on me at the last minute here. I've weighed my super frames before, and now I can't remember what it weighed in. I did a video. Let me see if you're talking about a deep or a super. I'm going to say with the wood on there, roughly, let's see, 10, 4 to 5 pounds. Let's see what the audience says. You said 6, maybe. I think I weighed once that was 7 pounds. Then I thought, surely not. That'd be 70 pounds on a super. That's possible. So maybe it's going to be anywhere from 3 to 7 pounds. It depends on how, how heavy that particular type of honey is, or maybe the wood, the boxes, they have more moisture in them. Well, let me answer your question here. Uh, how many pounds of capped honey should be left on winter for a new colony? If you're not feeding them, then in Illinois, we need about 70 to 80 pounds of capped honey on board. Now, some of that's going to be in the brooding, which to me, to be honest with you, doesn't serve me well. Because what happens is if I got frames on the outside where the honey is, but my cluster is in the middle and it gets colder, 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 my bees never make it over to where the honey is. They move up. And if the honey up there is at the outside wall, then the bees have to move towards the outside edges. And they will do that. They can move. So what I just try to do, I just try to keep food on top. So so the I put a winter be kind on there. The top cluster is always facing food. Food is always on top of the cluster. And so that's the one thing I wrestle with. Question from the audience?
Always on every box
Oh, yeah, yeah.
to make it through
Right.
winter.
Yeah.
I don't expect them to eat it at all.
Okay, yeah, that's right. And I used to work with a commercial beekeeper, and he always said honey was the best insulator. Yeah, she was saying make sure there's honey on the outside walls. That does help insulate. Yeah. Last question on this one is: can any that may be left in the spring be harvested? Absolutely. Yeah, I read once where beekeepers only harvest in the spring. They would harvest what the bees did. And nowadays we get kind of greedy, and we got to make that fall, event, and we got to get all the honey ready for that fall event. So it doesn't make sense. Does it? The bees work all year to store up honey for winter, and what do? We take it before winter even gets here. I don't know, but you can definitely do that. Also, I learned a long time ago that you can take frames off and freeze them, and then you can a year or two later you can can thaw out and harvest them, and they're exactly the same as when you froze them. So that's an option too. Okay, if I choose to leave my super on, not for harvest, then I feed with Honeybee Healthy as you do. Can I never take from that super or for human consumption? Honeybee Healthy says not to feed with supers on. Thanks. I never feed my bees when I have my honey super on, and I think that's what I would do. If you're gonna have to, keep a honey super on there, dedicate it for your bees and just let them always have it, right? Leave it on there if you need to feed them or treat them, and you're not gonna consume that honey and that super, just let it be part of the don't worry about it. But the honey that I'm gonna eat, just because I'm like you, I want my honey to be as pure as possible. I put those supers on when I'm not feeding, when I'm not treating, if I have treated, the 45 days or whatever has expired, and I don't have to worry about it. So go that way. Always, play it safe. Oh, it's giveaway time. Right. Let's get this now that we're talking about Honeybee Healthy. We have some Honeybee Healthy to give away today. So we'll do that. We'll take a look here at our live audience giveaway. Sherry Ann. Honeybee Healthy for Sherry Ann.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
She's pumped and excited to get Honeybee Healthy. Rob, whatever you want to use. HBH. Okay. HBH, Honeybee Healthy. Hashtag HBH for Honeybee. By the way, I use this. This has been around for a long time. Love the gentleman that we work with that provides it, but I don't really always use as much as the label says. I usually use half what the label says. Boy, it goes a long. It is so concentrated. So all the bees will need is that scent, that smell, and they'll go after. So I don't know if I'm stingy or what. I make one of these last a lifetime. Yeah. So Honeybee Healthy is good, and this is an item that we see a lot of in our feeding packs. So using Honeybee Healthy. All right, let's see who's going to win from the audience that's watching on YouTube today. Here we go. Who's going to win? It's rolling away. It's rolling down through there. Oh, Ryan. There you go, Ryan. I hope you're going to enjoy this Honeybee Healthy. Sure, you see the address on the screen. Address. Send us your mailing address. Yeah, Long Lane Honeybees, gmail.com. Be sure and do that with 24 hours. Within 24 hours, or all of us will totally forget that we were ever here and that you win that. So do that as quick as possible. Okay. Okay, well, we're out of time. We have round up 59 minutes of live stream, believe it or not, as fast as we could. Thank you for your I appreciate that. Local buzz. Yeah, appreciate you contributing to the live stream tonight. And it's been great having the live stream audience. Give yourself a hand. You were great. So good to have all of you here. Yeah, we're going to mill around. We're going to leave the live stream running just a few minutes here. You guys can still hang out and watch, but we're going to say goodbye, and then the live stream will keep running. And we're going to just have a meet and greet time, some refreshments and all. And so that'll be fun for all of us here. But I do want to thank all of you for watching on a Saturday. Several of you said you can't make it on Thursday nights. You always hate missing Thursday night. If I had more energy, I might have 2 live streams a week. That's going to be a lot of work. And I don't think I could talk Robbie, Sherry, and Jessica in one more day. I probably could, but I need to ask them to do that. They're good. We appreciate them so much. Thank you guys for all you did today. All right, guys. Thanks so much. We're going to say bye. We're going to keep the cameras running. So we'll see you next time. We're going to be live next Thursday. So goodbye. See you next time. All right. Wow, that was great.
Yeah. Good.
Well, Saturday doesn't work for us. Thursday night, we don't have issues. You guys stand up and mill around. I saw that. 130.
You left it on?
I left her running just past the.
Well, nobody can see anything.
Oh, I know. They can see this. You're back.
Yeah.
Let me get my other camera going if you guys want to watch us kind of milling around here. Give me a second. Yeah. Right. Purposely letting the camera run. We're going to go to another camera here. There we go. Oh. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Can I sneak in another question?
Oh, yeah, you bet.
I saw your long,
Yeah.
the long one.
Not as good as our regular lights.
You know, you talked about all the things that you need to be for beekeeping. So I struggle with doing.
Well, I think what I recommend you try. I work really well. They get the back. So like usually they have the roof. There. You have either one or a Belgian. A collar board, you could actually cut it and cut it off. Well, I think mine are.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. So watching everybody, this is my grandson, JD Marsh. Can you see him? I don't know if he's in the camera.
Yeah, I am.
We got refreshments in here if you guys want to get some refreshments. Okay, we're signing off. Goodbye, everybody. That was bizarre. Why we had that echo, I'll never know.